In a recent video, I shared with you guys how my 300ZX front brakes seized. Well, maybe they didn't seize completely, but they were so sticky to the point where my steering wheel was shaking while driving without the brake applied. And I briefly went over the differences between the three styles of Z32 calipers, which I ended up having to replace both front calipers and both front rotors. Now, if you're going to replace calipers and rotors, you might as well replace the brake pads while you're in there, especially off of calipers that were seized. And I had ordered some, but unfortunately they did not show up in time. And I could have gone to a parts store just to get some random ones, but I wanted to wait for these quality guys. Now, luckily I haven't driven the Z too much, so luckily our new rotors did not take much damage from the old brake pads. You can see very clearly how unevenly this brake pad was hitting the rotor. Not very ideal. Now luckily these are probably the easiest calipers to change brake pads on. Let's take out this little clip. It holds in the slide pins. Slide pins come out next. Before I take out the brake pads, I'm going to push in these pistons and then they just slide right out. It's that easy. These brake pads technically weren't that bad. Even though I got these calipers used, they did come with some decent brake pads. Now before we just slap on these brand new brake pads, dude, what are these wrapped in? This is fancy. We're gonna take this wire brush and try and grind away all this nasty crud where the brake pad's gonna sit. Then we'll take our high temp brake grease and apply it where the brake pad will be sitting. I'll also apply grease right on top of the brake pad. This is where the pistons will be contacting the pad. Sometimes if you don't do this, it'll create a squeak noise. Also, I had someone comment on the last video that I put the brake pad on the wrong side because they could see the squeaker. Z32 brake pads have squeakers on all four pads, and they're leading and trailing. So no matter what, there's gonna be a squeaker on each brake pad. Now usually there would typically only be one or two squeakers, and you would always put it on the inside. This is personally the only car I've seen that has squeakers on all four pads, leading and trailing. Next we'll clean up our slide pins and apply some new grease to these. And while we're at it, we'll clean up this brake clip as well. Oh, this one's crusty on the bottom. This thing cleaned up really nicely. This is going to contact a pin right here, a pin inside here, and then the brake pads right here. Now we got to push down on this tab and slide the pin through it. All right, all done. Now usually when I'm filming and wrenching on, say, suspension or brakes, something that has to be done on both sides of the car, I'll typically only film one side because I feel like it wouldn't be interesting to watch the same thing twice. And I had some people assuming in the last video that I only replaced one caliper and rotor. So please don't assume if I only show one side that I'm only doing one side of the car. Now the brake pads are already done on this side, but I wanted to show you guys the vanes of the rotor. This was another popular topic in the Z-brake video. We were having a conversation about which way the slots go in the rotor, and I personally like them better this way. But when I opened these rotors in the package, they actually said to go the other way. So this is technically a right side rotor. Now, a lot of you guys had some great insight as to why that may be. And the one that makes the most sense to me is the vanes inside the rotor. So apparently these little grooves, these ribs, are the vanes. Now this rotor, it's kind of hard to tell, but these go straight. They're not actually curved at all. I'm gonna try and put my flashlight on it so you can see them. No, it's not really picking it up. But either way, these ridges are straight through. They're not even angled at all. So that honestly tells me I could probably use these on either side and it'd make no difference. Spinners. What do you think, bro? How'd it turn out?
That thing is spinning like a... Awesome. Keep on going, keep on going.
Dude, it's so nice out.
No, 3 more days or 4 more, it's gonna be 80.
80? I can't wait for that. Later, dude. Just a local homie who always comes to say what's up. I got the rear pads ready to rock, but we're not gonna throw those on until I have my entire rear subframe built. Now, before we start driving away, make sure you press down the brake pedal a couple times. It might go all the way to the floor. Yep. Basically, all that's doing is pushing the pistons back out from the calipers. Back in the day, I used to work at Meineke, and there was this technician that would always forget to pump the brakes right before pulling a car out. And he'd put the car in reverse, you know, look back into the parking lot, and then he'd go to hit the brake, and of course, it didn't stop. It kept going, and it would just go straight over a curb. It was hilarious every time. Not so funny for the customer's car, but just be cautious. Oh yeah. These brake pads work great. Different manufacturers for brake pads require different braking procedures. Sometimes they'll have you speed up to 60, slam on the brakes, but don't come to a complete stop. So just make sure you're mindful of that when you're installing a full new kit. Hold on, what is that? Never noticed that bump there before. Feels firm. I'm wondering if maybe the mount for the bumper is in the incorrect location. Yeah, let's take a look at that. I don't want to damage this TT bumper. And while the bumper's off, I wanted to look at these mounts. Does anyone know what these do? This little grommet right here. It looks like it's hitting the lip down a little too much. It's kind of flexing the whole bumper. Oh, I bet it's one of these corners. Oh, it's right here. Oh, there's nothing right there. Maybe there's something on the chassis it's hitting? Could it be this? I also don't know if these are OEM. I almost want to say they're not. This does not look like a factory style bolt. I'm gonna need someone to confirm this. So with the bumper lined up to the mounts, it looks like our bump comes out to around here. So maybe it is this bolt. As for the clips we were seeing, it looks like it's mounting this plastic brace. I guess this brace helps structure the bumper so it's not so flimsy. I don't think this brace is doing much of anything. Might just be weighing it down. So maybe I'll take that off. But I think I can at least remove that clip that's hitting the lip. Sick. I got rid of those grommets that were on the bottom, and I also straightened out this headlight. And it no longer has pressure here, so we got the mounts in the right spot. Hell yeah. Fixing yet another broken project car. Which one is it this time? Here is a slight hint. Honda. It is the 300,000 mile Integra. The speed sensor recently stopped working on this thing. Now I had already assumed that it was probably the speed sensor pins and the connector itself, because sometimes liquid or coolant can drip into the sensor and end up making it corrode prematurely. And there it is all the way down there. Let's take a closer look. Oh yeah, see how that's blue? That tells me there's some corrosion going on. And the speed sensor is located right on top of the transmission. And you can see, it looks like we're missing a pin. Right in the center, there's a pin missing. And believe it or not, this connector has already been replaced before. This is a common issue with these cars. Get this thing out of the way for some more clearance. Now before we just cut off this old connector, we need to line up the new wires because the new connector is not colored. So I have to remember what order these go in. But first, let's make sure this connector fits the new speed sensor. Good. Got the wires prepped, pigtail ready to rock. Fran, do you remember the wire color order?
Blue, blacky, yellow, black.
Okay, at least someone remembered. I ended up using the solder stick connectors to connect all three wires. I'm gonna put some tape around each one just to add another layer of protection. That's toast. Oh, this one has the prong in it already. Do I need to take that out? Just pulled this out of the one in the transmission. Well, let's test fit it and see if it works. Now at this point, it would be a good idea to put dielectric grease on this connector since it's so prone to corroding, but unfortunately I don't have any here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and install it for now and pick some up hopefully later today. Let's throw on this intake and go for a test drive. Coming along for a ride.
Of course.
Yes, it works. Yay. How many fill-ups do you think you've done with no speedometer?
I think it's been 2.
2?
2, maybe 3.
Man, so we should have an additional like 600 or 700 miles on the odometer. I'm trying to rack this car up. I want to get 500,000 miles. I think that'd be sick. And then maybe someday 1,000,000 miles. I went ahead and logged this repair in our maintenance log. That way we can keep track of what goes on with this car. What to do next? Well, it turns out we're not going to work on the car next. We're actually going to work on this driveway curb. I've been scraping going up and down this driveway. This ramp used to go along the whole bottom. As you can see, most of it has corroded away. So we have Mr. Nick here to teach me how to do the job right this time.
Hey, yeah, we're gonna make this thing strong as heck, man. No way. Break it out today and then pour it tomorrow. Definitely earlier tomorrow.
Yeah?
Because, yeah, I'll say it's better to work with, get the concrete poured before the sun really comes up. make some cuts, and then we're gonna start chipping from the side.
After about an hour of pounding away at this concrete, we finally got it down. So the next step we're gonna do is clean up all the debris in there, right?
Get all those pores open, exfoliate it.
Exfoliate it.
Yeah.
We got our trench all dug out and watered up.
Yeah, that'll fit perfectly.
What is that?
Oh, it's my wooden skateboard float that I had. I'll say I use it for like just making walls and putting keyways in. It's
That's
perfect
crazy.
for fitting inside that 15-inch distance for those foundations. Really easy.
And it's a blind board?
Yeah.
The best. Definitely gonna need to wash this guy later. Let's get you the full 240SX effect here. Here, this is the seat belt.
Nice. What? That's legit.
Oh, wait, it goes the other way.
Oh, other way.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Key in.
I'm giddy. Oh, it is so freaking cool. I love my domestic vehicles, but you can't hate on these at all ever, man.
Right? Something special about him. His dog?
Yeah. Hey, doggy! Hey! Hey! Hey, dog!
Now you're the dog popping out.
Oh, baby, let's go! Wait! Dude, you're right. This thing is the fastest. Dude, has she driven it already?
Yeah, she drove it.
I'm surprised she didn't like hold on to it. I would have slept in the car not having it for so long.
Right? All right, that's looking much better. And it is starting to rain. Perfect timing. This is kind of crazy to think, but these are the only wheels that have ever been on Fran's 240, other than the stock wheels that it came with. So let's change things up a bit. Recently, I picked up these R33 GTR wheels off of the original R33 GTR that was imported into the States. And they gotta be the cleanest examples I have ever seen. There's like no damage on them. All center caps, but they came with some beefy tires. These are great tires for track use, don't get me wrong, but not really the best in our scenario. They're squared to the wheel, and usually we run some stretch in our tires so that they have better fitment. Now the offset is a bit weaker on these. These are plus 30 versus plus 22-ish, I wanna say. So they will sit farther in. Since they have huge tires on them, hopefully that'll work out in our favor. Let's try it out. It's always a good habit to shake your wheel once you jack up a car, especially one that you haven't been around too often, just to make sure everything's all nice and tight. We got quite a flat spot going on the inside. This thing is definitely overdue for an alignment, I can tell you that much. Oh, if I can tell you, we need some tension arm bushings, or at least new tension arms. Other than that, we're not looking too shabby. I have a feeling we might need to run a spacer to clear the coilover, because I think plus 30 is a little too weak. Let's see if it hits the coilover. Oh, is it clearing? Oh, I think it's rubbing on it. That's all right, we'll throw this hub-centric 5 mil on. I think this is a 5 mil. It's pretty small. Now technically this is a plus 25 wheel now since we put a 5 mil spacer in. But man, does that look like it's gonna rub or what? Always do a spin test to verify. And it looks like we're spinning free. I just lowered the car down on the Curiosity before I put on the other wheel. And yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna run this. These tires are too thick. These Potenzas are a 255/40, whereas these Ironmans are a 215/45. And you can see how much stretch they have. Not too much, but I mean, it's enough to clear this. Ah, what the heck. A little rubbing never hurt anybody. Let's put on the rest of the R33 wheels. All right, rear fitment reveal. This thing's gonna look like a track car with these tires. It's almost perfect. I don't think that's gonna rub. Well, it's definitely gonna rub. I think it's sitting on the quarter panel. These quarters are unrolled. We all know what R33 wheels look like on a S13, but let's be honest, it never gets old. Before we pack up our tools, let's make sure this car can actually roll still. Oof, gotta look into that. I noticed that the belt tension on the alternator belt is not very tight. Oh, we're already hitting fender? It's a good thing we just took off that only bump in the curbs to make it impossible to get up and down the driveway. These tires are so sticky, they're picking up all the rocks in the road. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. We are smoking and flinging tire. It's like a cheese grater, self-clearancing. Oh yeah, just a little bit of self-clearancing. No, but for real, that's too much. I definitely need to put on some rear wheels. All right, I swapped the rears back on. I'm gonna leave the fronts because the tires were so bald on the inside that I don't think those are worth putting back on. Probably gonna get those tires flipped and use them as drift spares. I just think it's funny because now we have yet another car with mismatched wheels. I know how much you guys love the mismatched wheels, but you can't say I didn't try to have all 4 matching wheels on this car. So we had this funny idea. We're like, man, this can't just be plain concrete. You know, it does look good, don't get me wrong. But we're like, we gotta throw something in it. So we thought it'd be funny.
Freaking Tesla, baby.
To throw a Tesla on it because now every time we go up the driveway, we're driving over a Tesla.
Yeah, like a slight angle like this. Oh yeah, now
Oh yeah. Patter in there.
Hey, if this breaks, this is your idea. Remember that.
Yeah, yeah. I take full responsibility. Hey, that blue is nice though.
Yeah. That's a first for me.
Yeah? You never put a Tesla in concrete before?
Oh no.
Welcome to the show, Smokes.
No more bumper going.
Yeah, mostly the oil pan.
True. Yeah, but also fiberglass.
Oh yeah. Bye-bye bumper of fiberglass. Yeah. Look at what we put in the concrete.
You rebar it?
No, even better.
Can you tell what kind of model is it?
Tesla, hell yeah. Bye-bye electric.
We got Prizza, Smokes, and Doggy. 2024, baby. Did a killer job, Nick. Thanks a lot, dude.
My pleasure, dude.
Well, got a brand new issue with the 300ZX. I'll show you guys what's going on. So going into first is no problem, right? So we'll start driving. But then as soon as I go to shift it to second, it's like really far down. And it's making some really interesting rattle sounds. And then neutral sounds like this. When I first heard the grinding noise, I thought the transmission blew. But I'm starting to think that maybe there's an issue with the shift linkage. I have to like hold it up. If I let go, it feels like it's grinding on the drive shaft. And then the power steering is also making a weird sound too. If you guys remember, I just replaced that pressure line, so you gotta look at those fittings. This thing's falling apart. Should we try out the brand new curb? Let's begin with looking into the shifter issue. Just gonna take off the shift knob first, because probably gonna have to pull off this whole center console. Take off this rubber boot. Next boot. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna put this in third. Huh. Looks like the rubber on the shifter base plate has failed. Yeah, that's not good. There you go, back in position. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to order one of these. I don't think there's much I can do at this time to really fix this. What else could I even put in here, you know? Looks like it shifts fine without falling down. As long as I don't shift it hard, I think we'll be good. And all this nut does is hold up the shift linkage. Because without it, it'll just fall in the drive shaft, which is exactly what it was doing. Let's just put this back together for now, and then we'll go under the car and see what's going on with that power steering. Step one, let's check the fluid. Oof, we are empty. All right, so there's definitely an issue because this was full. And it looks like the subframe is wet. I pressure washed this bay after that install. So we gotta find where we're leaking. What's this? This is all dry. Ooh, that has some fluid on it. Is this return hose leaking? Oh yeah. Man, could it really just be this old clamp? These clamps are notorious for leaking, honestly. I think I'm still gonna jack up the car and inspect that lower pressure line that goes into the rack. Because I've been thinking about it, and during the install, the fitting bottomed out on the rack before I felt that rubber band hit something inside the rack. So I don't know, we'll just look at it. But to start us off, we definitely need to put a new clamp on here. Let's look through this bag of clamps and see if we can find one in the right size. Ooh, maybe? Hopefully this reservoir really was empty. Oh my gosh. Definitely had a significant amount of fluid in there. It's a good thing I put cardboard on the bottom. I had to put new gloves on because after the power steering fluid was spilling out of the reservoir, it actually went into my gloves. So, new sensation unlocked. Now this clamp is a little too big here, but I'm just gonna make it work and snip off any extra that's on it. I thought I had one closer, but they were either way too small or way too big. So hopefully this one will get the job done. Oh yeah, there's definitely some fluid drips. That could have been just from now, but also, look at that, right off the pressure line fitting. That is definitely leaking. The Z32 rack takes a crush washer, as you can see on the return side. Luckily I saved the fittings from when I put on that pressure line. So I have the banjo bolt and washers for the pump, and then the banjo bolt and washers to the rack. What I'm thinking is to put one of these crush washers onto that fitting that's currently in the rack, which means we're gonna have to take it off first. So I'm pretty sure that was a 17 and a 19. So obviously we know for a fact this O-ring is not doing anything on the Z32 rack. So we'll just take the crush washers from this guy. All right, let's reinstall it and see how that works. We got it all put back together. Let's throw in some fluid and see if it holds. Now I did mention in a recent video that even though this is Dexron 6, it is still Dexron 3 certified. You can see right there. And this stuff's getting expensive. It's like over $10 a bottle now. No spilling this time. This will be my first time backing down the driveway with the new curb. So far so good. Oh, I killed it. But no scrape. Power steering is functional. Still got that weird rattle. Gotta find what's making that noise. Yeah, the shifter's good now that I pulled it back up, but if I shift hard, it will fall back down. I can already feel it's falling down in forward, so if I pick it up, that's kind of funny. What do we got here, mister? And those are wide.
They're cooked too, but I'm gonna get them redone next season.
Dude, these look great. We had to stop by Andrews to do some tires. Tim finally got his T6s mounted. Or he's about to throw them on right here at Andrews.
Yes.
I got a couple tires to flip and whatnot, but Andrew has a secret project going on in his garage that not even we can see, so.
We've been looking this way.
Yeah, we're like, ah,
He's like,
yes.
hey, yeah, new paint, don't look.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't wait to see that car in there. It's an S13 hatch, so you know it's gonna be good either way. Let's see how these things look on here, dude.
Oh, yeah. I need a 21 though, because remember how that's melded to that?
Oh, it's stuck on there?
That's a 21.
Oh, man. Did it work? Hey, watch the grip.
That's crazy.
Woo!
Too much.
Too much? What do you mean?
It's gonna camber in, but
Yeah, it'll be fine.
we'll see.
We'll slam it and see how it looks. That's gonna be sick though.
Hey, we're getting close.
Nismo lug nuts.
Yeah, dude.
Straight off the Gloria. Hey, I'm glad they could have got put to good use. Here you go, fitment reveal, Advent T6. too nice with it, man. What you mean? It's fine.
Yeah.
Jounce it a little bit.
It is a little aggressive.
No, that's perfect.
Some camber and some low. Dude, yeah.
That's good. What are you talking about?
I know. Just some camber and some low. It's
You don't
gonna be
even need
perfect.
camber.
Oh, low. Low. More low.
That's hot. What do you guys think?
Still too high?
Oh, dude, that's perfect.
Too tall right now, though.
Tall?
Way too tall.
That's a good daily
Dude, I
height.
can feel my head under my side here.
Head check.
That's too much, bro.
Gotta support the local skate shop. Yeah, believe it or not, this board that I rode in the rain is no longer good. It's starting to flex and crack all over, so it's definitely time for a refresh. Also got a new board for Franzi. Well, alright guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me for another video. Don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already, subscribe to see more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
But it's not. There it goes.
There we go.